Hello and welcome to another episode of My Opinion Means Nothing. I know it's been a really long time since the last episode. It's been probably about 2 months, but I'm back, I'm back here this week with my good friend Fury Forward.
Fury WD.
WD. In my head, I keep saying forward, and I know it's WD.
FWD, Yeah, man.
that's why it's forward in my head.
Nice little abbreviation though, you get me? I'm always moving forward, so you get me thinking steps ahead and that, so I'll let you off with that one. Still.
Alright, cool. So how you doing, man?
No, I'm good. Just busy, the daily grind, trying to chase your dreams, you know how it is in London, it's just non-stop, innit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm off today. Last shift pattern was yesterday, so I'm off for 2 days now. But it just, as I said, it's just non-stop. So when you're chasing something, you never really have time off. It's more just time off from my 9 to 5.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Funny you should mention that. Like when I had this conversation at work with a few of my work colleagues. They've asked me how do you get the time, or how do you find the time to do all this creative stuff outside of work and still do a 9 to 5 and sleep?
And the answer's simple, just don't sleep, innit? You know what I'm saying? Just don't sleep. You just gotta find the willpower to just say, all right, I finished doing my job that helps pay for the bills, and now I've got to put some time into this other thing that's about me trying to chase my dreams and trying to do what I really want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just literally that. Other people, they get to go home and just chill, maybe sit down, watch TV. Not that I don't do those things myself, but I've got to make sure I'm clocking a certain amount of hours in terms of what I'm trying to do. When the weekend comes, it's not just, I've got the weekend off. I just get to chill, maybe do a few domestics, shopping and all that kind of stuff. But I've got to then find time as well to just carry on working through. So it's just, it's just something that you kind of just get used to it, really. It's just, it does get tiring, but it's just something that you're used to doing.
It's kind of also, I feel like I don't really think about doing it as work. It's just... Like you said, you just go through the motion. You're doing it a thought comes in my head. I need to write that down.
Exactly.
And next thing you know, I'm writing something, and then So
I could be on my way home, if I'm taking the tube or something, and an idea comes to me, and then I'll just be writing it there. And to you kind of just think, it's just a little something that you're noting down, but that is actually, you're still working. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that little 10 minutes or 15 minutes that you spent jotting down that idea, that's part of the process for whatever it is. If it's a little script or something and you just did a bit of character development, that is part of writing your script. Do you know what I'm saying? And it might be 10 minutes here, it might be 10 minutes there, but those 10 minutes add up, and that's maybe 3-4 hours worth of work that you've done over a period of time. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just part of the process.
It's kind of just making I can't think of the word, but right now, making use of your spare time.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Not being idle, being efficient with your time. And it's just doing, when I used to struggle when I first got into the whole, the working thing, because I work full time now, been doing that for a couple of years. Before that, I was freelancing, so it was more the majority of my time went into my craft.
Okay, so what kind of freelance work did you do?
So I was doing, I used to work for a video production company.
Okay.
And they used to do a lot of the music videos for a lot of the artists, the English kind of UK, urban, grime, hip hop, whatever kind of genre that they kind of fit into now. We was doing a lot of videos for them. So, we did videos for Skepta. Back in the day, we did videos for for Wretch 3-2. We did the Black Boy remix videos. I don't remember the Bashy. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So a lot of these guys, when they're really established. Now, they've been established for a long time, but back then it was more like in the ends kind of like established, you know what I'm saying? Where now they're like household mainstream names. But back then we were kind of doing a lot of their videos when it was Channel U, aka, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. So, it was good for me to learn my craft of film, but I was more interested in the whole film side of things rather than the music videos kind of thing. So kind of broke away from that. I learned what I needed to learn, and I'm kind of doing a bit of freelancing. But you know how it is, like paying the bills, you get your own place, and now all of a sudden, when you was kind of living with mumsy, like you can just, like a month could go by, you didn't make that much money, listen mum, look, I got you next month kind of thing, do you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you get your own place now, you know, the landlord, council, whatever, they're not trying to hear that. You got to be consistent every month, you got to make sure the money's there, so, you know what I'm saying, life gets real.
Yes, true.
And I end up getting a full-time job. And where I've had all this free time to do my thing and pattern it around my time, how I'm going to use it, it's not that anymore. You've got to be at this job at a certain time, you've got to clock in, make sure you do your hours, you finish it, those hours, and like you're shattered, like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, wow, and you're like, all right, you know, I'll do it over the weekend. The weekend comes and it's just like, you just don't want to do nothing. Your body just, look, you just want to chill, play computer, like, you know what I'm saying, like sit in front of the TV, whatever. And you think, all right, you know, I'll do it tomorrow, Sunday comes, you feel the same thing. By the time you know it, like a month's gone by and you ain't done nothing, you know, and then you think, all right, what I'm gonna do is, when I've got this holiday period coming up, you know what I'm saying? I got like a week off, I got 2 weeks, I'm just gonna bang out so much, you know what I'm saying? You start like psyching yourself up. And then the holiday period comes, all right, I'm gonna chill for the first day, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna chill because, you know, I've been working, I'm tired, like, you know what I'm saying? So I've earned this, like, and then I'm gonna get onto it. And by the time you know it, like, it's Friday, you ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how it happens.
It just gets an endless cycle.
And then so I can't remember where I read it, but I just started reading, you know, a lot of like kind of motivational books. I think there was one book, I can't remember the author, someone sent it to me. I think it was called something like Who Took My Cheese or something along those lines. And it was like a little 8-page kind of
pamphlet.
Yeah, like about these two mice and about one who was kind of storing these cheese and one who was kind of waiting for the big cheese. I can't remember the exact story, but the actual moral of it was about not trying to wait for the big cheese, but just doing the little and building, like, do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it kind of made me think all these times I've been, you know what, because I'm working, you know, I don't want to just do like a little 30 minutes here, because I just feel like I ain't done nothing. I want to put in like 2 hours, 3 hours, but I ain't got that time, so I'm waiting until I've got like a whole day and I'm going to do 6-7 hours, and that time comes and you don't use it. So rather than then, it's like, do like the little 10-minute here, do the little 20-minute there, the little half an hour there, because over time that adds up. And over that little 6 months where you thought, I'm gonna wait till, like, you know, I've got this 2-3 weeks off, if you did those little 10 minutes here, you would have done more than you thought you were gonna do over that 1 week. Do you know what I'm saying?
When you get to those 3 weeks, you're like, oh, do you know what, I'm further ahead than I thought I was.
Exactly, do you know what I'm saying? And it's funny that you just become used to just doing that, and a lot of people, it is that procrastination that is the biggest killer, putting things off. And sometimes you just got to do, even if you just did 5 minutes, you're 5 minutes ahead of what you need to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Little baby steps. Sometimes that is, we all just want to take those giant leaps, but sometimes those little baby steps, as long as you keep taking them, do you know what I'm saying?
What makes you make it?
Exactly.
Did you by any chance see the BET Awards?
No.
You didn't?
Like, I don't get to watch TV that much, especially like live TV.
I didn't watch it live either. I was just chilling at my mate's house and he had it on. I was like,
one of those ones.
I woke up actually and the BET
and it was on.
I was like, yo. But the thing that stood out for me was Tyler Perry. He won the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Okay.
And he gave this speech about how, and it's kind of true, it's kind of like he said he doesn't want to be an icon, he wants to leave a legacy. So I don't know if you've heard about like how he's recently just set up his own studio.
Okay, no, I haven't heard about
And
that.
the land that he built it on used to be, I think he said it used to be owned by Confederate.
Oh, wow.
So like the fact that he's now
Yeah.
bought that land, and like I think
Bet that's rubbed a couple people up the wrong way.
Exactly, and he said this quote about how like it used to be like one black guy, used to be loads of black guys across this whole plantation, and it used to be owned by one white guy. Now it's owned by one black guy, and I'm giving all the black guy people jobs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of need. He said he was never looking for a seat at the table. He was always trying to make seats at the table for other people.
And that I fully respect that. I mean, I've always been a person where I kind of feel the same thing with everything that I'm trying to do. I'm the oldest of two kids. Three. Well, me plus my two siblings. But my mum, she kind of always raised me to like be like a leader. So she like, it's funny because if my brother or sister did anything wrong, they would get in trouble, but I would get in trouble as well. So it was like she was kind of teaching me that, like, because when I was young, I used to think like that doesn't make no sense. Like that's them doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? She's like, yeah, but you're the older one, so you're meant to be setting the example. So if you've done something, I mean, if they've done something wrong, it's because you weren't kind of leading them in the right direction. So it's kind of teaching me that to be responsible, not just for myself, but for the people that are coming behind me. And I think that's a lot of there's a lot of people that they don't think like that. There's too much people just thinking about themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's all good, like, you know, like especially for people that come from deprived areas, like, you know, you see some of these like sports stars or these entertainers, and like, you know, they come from impoverished backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? They come from like areas where the majority of people aren't even gonna make, like, you know, just even a decent life for themselves. Like they're gonna be struggling so below, like, you know what I'm saying, what is kind of should be acceptable for this normal society. And you'd think that you've come from that, so you know what it feels like, and you've now, obviously through your own hard work and dedication and whatever, you deserve what you're getting, but you've amassed so much now, like, you know, more than, like, you know, you really should be able to spend, kind of thing. Shouldn't you want to give some of that back? Do you know what I'm saying? Shouldn't you want, I mean, that all the gold chains and that and nice cars and that is cool, but like, you know, when you've come from somewhere and you can see what the people that you came from are still going through, don't you feel like you want to do something so that more people have the better chance, you know, to get to where you got to? Do you know what I'm saying?
The opportunity, like, it's like, it's kind of impoverished of the arts community, unfortunately, where we kind of, it seems like when you're at the top, you don't want to let the information trickle down. No one wants to share how they got there. People were like, I'm here now.
Do you know what that is? That's it's kind of like because a lot of the people that are successful, you get to this point where it's like power, right? And it's that whole thing of, like, you know, if once you get to the top, there's only one direction to go, which is down, right? So it's like when you, especially trying to be successful, especially when you've got to this level where, or you've come from having nothing to being successful, there would have been so many roadblocks in front of you. There would have been so many people not trying to help you to get to where you're trying to get to. And you kind of, I believe a lot of people develop a kind of like a negative kind of, I don't want to call it like a spirit, but like a negative kind of like, on life. Because it's like, nobody gave it to them, right?
Yeah.
They had to like take it, and like there was so many people that were trying to stop them from getting to it. So it's almost like they think, I had to work so hard to get here, right? Why am I gonna give you the cheat code? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like no one gave it to me. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I just gonna hand it to you? Like, and you know, they just look at these people like I struggled to get here, innit? I gave up everything, like, you know, bare views, look, didn't even believe in me, kind of thing. And when I was on my way, I might have even asked you people for help, and you never gave it to me. But now that I'm at the top, like, I'm just meant to just give you guys like the free pass just to come and, do you know what I'm saying?
I see it like that.
And I get that.
I get it.
But at the same time, you've got to see past that, do you know what I'm saying? You have to, and you know, I hope that, you know, if I'm ever in that position, I can keep this kind of outlook, because that negativity only promotes more negativity.
It does, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So only by being positive can we make positive changes. So it's like, you know, you got to see past that, and if everybody thinks like that, it's just that cycle's just going to continue. So somebody has to think differently. Do you know what I'm saying?
You've got to break the cycle.
Exactly. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So,
okay, I'll start with this one. So we'll talk about what's happening in the world. And I haven't really been too much on the news recently, only because everything that's happening in the news, it really just annoys me and stresses me out. Just to think of the fact of I have no control over who's going to be the new Prime Minister. The Conservative Party is just going to vote who they want to be the next Prime Minister, and then we're going to have a general election. And I don't know, it just seems like too much now. Just like they said Brexit was going to be when, and we're in that when, and it still hasn't happened. Like, come on, like, it's just too much sometimes. But I decided to jump on the news again because some of these articles were kind of interesting, so I thought it's worth talking about. So the first one is about how what was it? Shame. So Disney banned a grieving father from having Spider-Man on his son's grave.
Well, Disney banned someone from putting Spider-Man on there. Can you do that?
Apparently so.
If you're Disney and you got that much money.
Well, because Disney owned Marvel, and Marvel was Spider-Man.
So what is the infringement though? Like,
I'm not sure what the infringement is personally.
He's not profiting from putting Spider-Man on his thing. Like, I mean,
he like the whole point of it is like his father, the child passed away, and his son was like this huge fan of Spider-Man.
Exactly.
And just to commemorate it, he thought it would be nice if he could get an etching of Spider-Man on the tombstone, you know? And apparently that wasn't acceptable.
But I don't know, because wouldn't that be no different from somebody getting a Spider-Man tattoo or something? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Or
you know?
Like, I don't know, putting Spider-Man posters on their wall, or maybe they could like try and say that, you know, if you put a Spider-Man poster, technically that could be like merchandise or something. But what about if you painted Spider-Man on your wall?
You know?
Or something? Do you know? I don't know, man. That's weird. Like,
it really seems quite weird to me as well. I think the excuse they used was, the reason why Disney refused was they wanted to preserve the innocence and magic surrounding the character of Spider-Man.
Yeah, because Spider-Man ain't got no dark storylines in that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just this kind of Disney-esque type character that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
people don't die in Marvel films.
Like, that's ridiculous. That is true. And I just think, like, it's just a case of, it's just power at the end of the day. Like, I just think that for whatever reason, someone in the Marvel Studios or the Disney, Marvel, whatever the bloody connection is now, that rubbed them up the wrong way for whatever reason, and they've just decided to make a campaign out of it, because like that doesn't make any sense. Kind of sense.
Like, I could get a tattoo of Spider-Man's face on me, and that would be acceptable.
And what happens if, like, if someone went to a rubbish tattoo artist and he drew like a rubbish, like, like, you know what I'm saying, like rendition of like Spider-Man or whatever, like surely that's worse for the.
That's worse.
You're gonna sue people over that, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, no, that's weird, man. And
so this is like a warning to anyone who wants to get any kind of Marvel or Disney character etched onto their tombstone. Disney might ban you.
it shows the power that they have, this whole Marvel universe.
No,
kind
100%.
of, it's just like,
because to me it's
crazy.
like it's not like the family wanted money for this, or like the company were gonna lose money or gain money from this, or maybe if anything, it's, I think the father said something to the words of the effect of, Disney don't, it's all fair, wait, what does it say? Disney, kids only matter to Disney when they're alive and spending money with them.
It's a really powerful quote, man. And it's true, because at the end of the day, like, I mean, so this kid now, he spent his whole life just, you know, probably shelling out loads of money, obviously probably his family's money or whatever, but like the kid was what you would want from a customer.
Yeah, exactly.
To be in love with your character, to, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, probably got like shrines in his room, like, you know, the action figures, the posters.
Oh, where is it? Look at this, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
he's in hospital and he's got the Spider-Man.
And he's got the spider, and like, what that doesn't deserve to, like, you know, if he wanted to put it on his tombstone.
Yeah.
You're really, and then just even forget about the business side. What about the moral side of it? Like, you're really going, like, you're a $1 billion corporation, company, whatever. Like, you're really gonna sue like a grieving family. I mean, I don't know what their financial situation, but it, like, I doubt it can match whatever Disney is, like, you know what I'm saying, like, generating on a daily. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you're really gonna compound it by trying to drag them through like some kind of legal battle, just because they wanted to show how much the kid was of the fan of what you're creating. You know, that is just so weird, like.
And like, to be honest, only thing it would have done is publicize it. Because imagine, like, people walk past the tombstone, they're like, what, you can get characters etched on your...
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
You know?
And then the only thing is about that is, like, because I'm off this, one of my uncles, he used to mentor me, right? Yeah. And he used to teach me certain things. And one thing he says, never assume that somebody's stupid. Right, and that's not just a case of like when you're thinking about someone doing something on an intellectual side, but even on the side of this, never kind of like try and think that you understand the reason that someone's doing it, the most obvious reason, right? So I mean, we could just look at that, this greed, it's just moral, like someone morally corrupt or whatever. But on the flip side, that could be a calculated move where, like, you know, the new Spider-Man's coming out and no publicity is bad publicity. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of situation, and that you're kind of using these kind of people just to promote your film, because it's like now like,
Spider-Man's in the news.
Do you know what I'm saying? And
whether
like,
it's good or bad, people are still gonna maybe check it out.
Like, by the way, you know, like you could just picture it in the news. So, you know, Marvel / Disney, whatever, is suing this grieving family, you know, blah blah blah. Is it right? Is it wrong? You probably have one or two people, you know, some people being interviewed on both sides of the coin, and then at the end of it, by the way, Spider-Man's out at the end of this week. Do you know what I'm saying? Out this Friday, like, do you know what I'm saying, kind of thing, like.
It's true.
So it's like, but
it's a British family as well. It's the
crazy.
Family is from Maidstone in Kent, and I think last year before the little boy passed away, they visited Disneyland and he met Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's just savage.
This world is just exactly as you said, it's just savage. Man.
Yeah,
it's savage.
Oh, also, did you hear about the racing horse pundit that died today?
No, today.
Yeah. When it loads and you see his picture, you should probably recognize who it is.
The dude that was on Big Brother one time.
Yes, that
Oh,
guy.
he passed away today.
Yeah,
I can't even remember his name. The guy that he's got the eccentric dress sense and
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's it. John McCririck or whatever his name is.
He passed away today.
That is mad. Yeah, I mean, I never really was into the whole horse racing kind of thing. I remember when I used to come on Sundays back in the day when you were a kid. That was, like, it was kind of like in that mid-period just after the cartoons and just before, like, the family kind of, like, the family TV. You know, back in the day when family TV, like, Gladiators or something. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Where everyone, like, it would come through and sit down. And that was that boring period. Like, like on Sunday, they had that boring period where it was like, what is it? Songs of praise. That was just where, like, you know what? Turn the whole TV off. Just, I don't know, think of something else to do. Because TV's dead right now. You didn't have like 101 different. You had 4 channels, and there was a period where everything on TV was dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for me, that horse racing period was that. So, but I just used to see him because he was just one of those people. They just stood out, like really like loud, and like he had that out there dress sense, and like his beard and his hair and whatever. But I mean, I never watched Big Brother either, but I remember him being on there and causing a bit of a stir. I think he was meant to be some kind of like a misogynist or something, and he used to say all these crazy stuff that his wife had to do or something mad like that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, well, rest in peace. Like,
R.I.P. indeed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the only reason why I wanted to mention it, because I don't, like you said, I never watched horse racing, but only time I remember watching horse racing or any kind of racing was I was at my auntie and uncle's house in Wellingborough, and my uncle, he is a huge fan of racing and that, so we used to watch it back then. Oh no, you can take these chairs.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's it.
But yeah, I just remember him just being there talking, reporting. He was a journalist. That's it, really. But R.I.P. to.
Definitely.
What else is there? So I don't know if you heard about this. Apparently, schools, because of all the price cuts with schools and stuff like that. There's been about 250 schools over the UK that have been closing school early on a Friday.
Oh, is it?
Like around midday, because they haven't had the funding to keep the teachers around.
That is mad. That is so crazy. And it's just like, so what is important in terms of like what should be financed?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? That's the question that you got to ask, because everything will just go back to the whole, like, recently, obviously when you had the general elections, and then the DUP just got this magic money which never existed prior to then. Like, there was no money tree or whatever the phrase was, and the money just appeared. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And it's funny how when people want to be in power, they will do whatever it takes. Do you know what I'm saying? But when you need to do what's right, all of a sudden there's all this red tape, and you know what I'm saying? Why it can't be done, and it's just like with the whole, like, the whole kind of knife crime situation going on. It's like, that you need more police on the streets. Now, I'm not a politician, right? So I'm not going to pretend to know the ins and outs of everything. But it's like, you need police, right? Why don't you just give the money to, like, today? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, today, like, not like Boris Johnson because he wants to, like, win the next election or whatever. Oh, I'm going to promise that if I win, like why do you need to wait till then? Like, you know the problem is here now.
Why do you?
Like, do you know what I'm saying? People have been dying, like, pretty much constantly. Like, every week you're hearing 2 or 3 people have been stabbed and killed and whatever.
And that's the thing, you know. Like, I used to think back in the day, it used to be worse than this. But no, it's not. It's like, it's people dropping like flies.
Mate, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I think just this weekend, like, about 4 or 5 people got killed, or over the last couple, like, 4 or 5 days or something. And it's like, you know, like, obviously you can't just put the police, like, you can't just grab people and say you're police. You gotta do the whole training thing. But like, this has been going on for a year. Surely by now, if you'd said like last year or whatever, when the crisis, you could see that there's an epidemic here.
It's been going on for like what, 20, 30, 40 years now.
No, look, here's the money, train up the police, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, but really, all this money is just going into kind of keeping yourselves in power. That's really all that matters, and everything else, like, is just like kind of secondary, to the point that now you can't even keep schools open because you ain't even paying teachers. Do you know what I'm saying? You ain't paying. Like, what is the point? Like, of even yous lot being in power. The whole point is to build for like the future generations, you know what I'm saying? For the people to. So if you ain't even putting the money into the schools, like, what is the point of anything that they're trying to do? Do you know what I'm saying?
It just makes you think, what are they investing in?
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, really, what? Because at the end of the day, that is like, whether you're gonna have, like, you know, university fees, or like, you know, oh, we ain't got enough doctors, or there ain't enough jobs. If you ain't even putting the money into the kids that are going to inherit all that, what is the point of any of it?
But the joke is, the people who are running the country all went to university for free. They ain't in debt. We are.
It's crazy, man.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Like, you can't. It's so mad. Like, you can't actually write this stuff. Like, when you just read the things that are happening on a daily basis, it just seems like you're just watching like a satire show, but it's real life. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like actually, like, you know, like back in the day, like, I mean, I don't know if this kind of stuff was always happening. It's just now we're shining a light on it. But it's just like, back in it almost seemed like you had to satire, what's it called? The politics to make it funny and interesting or whatever, and like, you know, certain things were happening, kind of boring just to tell it, so you got to put an extra little spin on it. Whereas now you could literally just tell it how it is happening. Like, you don't have to like add any extra spice or nothing.
It's mad.
And that is the show right there.
But it's not even just politics, it's just across the board, bro. It's like any news article you read nowadays, just stuff you read it and you're just like, what? And you read more, you're just like, what? What do you mean?
That is crazy.
Like, I'll show you this one, This one, crazy to me. And so there's this couple who are very prominent on Instagram.
Okay.
And
the wonderful Instagram.
And they say that getting a job isn't an option. And they want everyone else to fund their travel to Africa. They need $9,000 to ship them, to fly them over there. And they've set up a GoFundMe and everything. And here's the whole joke of everything when I was reading this article on the way here. So the guy and the girl, who are these Instagram famous people or whatever, they currently they're both in their mid-20s and they're married. But they currently live at the guy's mother's house.
So they're already in a privileged situation as it is.
You ain't even heard no crackers yet, bro. Like, the mum's working 2 jobs to support them.
Yeah, so the mum's an idiot. The mum's an idiot. Do you know what I'm saying?
And they set up this GoFundMe because they need tandem bikes so they can ride from Germany to Africa. They are telling people getting a job isn't an option because there's few trades that they're qualified for.
Everyone else is qualified.
You know? and they have also been told, but they said that they could model to make fast money, but they don't want to advertise consumerism.
This is it's just so astounding, the level. Like, I remember when, I can't remember, it might have been David Cameron that said that we live there with, he didn't say privilege, of this, what's the word I'm looking for when you expect,
Oh yeah, I know.
he had this phrase, but it's like when you just expect to be given stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I can't think of the word, but I know what you're talking about.
It just left my head. Sorry, I'm tired. Yeah. But it's just this this level that we have, like, as a society now, that you just expect to be given stuff just because you want it. That is the depth of it. Like, just because you want it, you feel that you must have it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to work. Not because that, you know, I've got some kind of physical disability, or there's something that is so serious that, you know, like, I'm currently like caring for, like, my mum, who's like, you know, got like a really like life debilitating illness or disability, and, you know, like, just to make sure she has a decent quality of life. You know, we can't afford carers, so, like, you know, that's something that you would think that, you know what, I want to go fund, like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, like, you've lived life, like, you're actually in a position, like, there's people out here that they work, like, they've been working for the last God knows how many years, and they can't even rack up money to get a deposit for a yard, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They can't even, like, they're working 2 jobs, maybe 3 between both of them, and they still can't afford to get a deposit to put down for some kind of shoebox somewhere, like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
House prices are high.
You are in a position where you're living, I mean, I'm assuming rent-free because you just said that the mum is working 2
jobs to support him.
So you're in a position that so many people in London would bite off someone's arm to be in a house that they don't have to pay for. Do you know what I'm saying?
Just chill.
Do you know how up you are?
I lie.
Yeah. In terms of finances, if you don't have to pay rent, like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So on top of that, now you've just decided, because whatever reason you ain't put in the work to say, you know what, this is what I want to do with my life, so I'm going to make sure I'm qualified, or I'm going to make sure I can financially do it. You ain't done none of that. It's even you ain't even feeling ashamed to say we ain't qualified to do anything. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, that's like, you know, if you had like a dead CV, you're trying to like boost it up. You're trying to add little lies to it, like.
They're not lies. They're half truths.
You're trying to add the spiced up half truths and that, like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's almost like saying, look, like, you're going to like this big firm, and they're saying that, you know, you must have like, you know, this kind of first class degree in this, and you're like, look, I didn't even do good in my GCSEs, but boom, here's my CV. Like, you ain't even trying to like spice it up or nothing. Just give me the job. Why? Because I know it's just something I've wanted to do. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And I think that I should do it based on those reasons. It's just ridiculous. But the thing about it is, as much as like I could look at them and think, like, you know what I'm saying, they're idiots, on another flip side, they're not idiots, because they will get the money, bro.
Well, I think what have they raised? They've raised £180 so far.
Like, that's £180 that, do you know what I'm saying, they should not have even got. Do you know what I'm saying? So just even the fact that they've got that, they're up.
That's what I mean. More people are gonna support them if they're.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that we shouldn't even be talking about it, because it's like, it shouldn't have got that deep, like, do you know what I'm saying? But the fact is, people will do that, and people will fund it. So the fact that we live in a society where, like, that's something that is even nearly possible, that could be a case, that I can think, you know what, I just want to do this. There's no, you know, moral or like, you know, just cause behind it. It's just like, you know, there's something, no, I want to go to space. I've always kind of wanted to go to space. Didn't try and study no maths or science or that, but it's just I want to do it. So listen, guys, look, NASA said if I can raise 500 grand, yeah, like, you know, they will let me go up with one, and like, do you know what I'm saying? And like, so based on that, guys, that, you know, I'm till then though, I'm just gonna be chilling, watching Netflix.
Watching them space documentaries.
Do you know what I'm saying? Just trying to get, like, you know, like myself, like, geared up and trying to get as much kind of pre-knowledge, like, you get me? I'm watching some sci-fi programs and that, like.
But like, also on another flip, I was thinking, as much as the people who want to do this are idiots, you have to think of his mum is working 2 jobs to support him. So his mum is
She's
essentially
facilitating
allowing
it.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
she's brought him up into this world for 20 years and said...
Entitled, that's the word I'm looking for.
That's it.
Woo! What did that take? Like about 10, 15 minutes? Yeah, that's poor, man.
That's it. But that's, yeah.
It's a sense of entitlement. But it's like, that's what I'm trying to say, because the mum now, she's put them in a position where they feel that they're entitled to these kind of things, because, like, you know, I mean, it's one thing saying, like, I've got a talent for something, you know, I'm into sports, or like, you know, I'm into some kind of arts, or, you know what I'm saying,
I'm a
doctor, I'm just trying to, you know, study through like school and whatever, and, you know, like, you know, me taking on a part-time job is just really gonna take away from my studies or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? That's something that but then in the flip side, this is where it's a bit mad, because this whole social media in itself is something where you can raise a lot of money, and it's back to the thing where I said before, don't ever think someone's an idiot, because in the mum's mind, I mean, she could literally just be the type of mum that, oh, you know, my son is what he wants to do, when they give him what he wants, and that's like the long and short of it. But on the flip side, it could be, she's like, look, I'm seeing some of these, like, you know, these little, they're a bit dumb, they're a bit dopey and that, but they're doing this Instagram and social media thing, and they're making dope. So maybe if I put my son and his missus, you know, they look like they got a bit of charisma to them, like, you know, they could look, I mean, I ain't seen what they look like or whatever, but you know, like, you know, they're a bit quirky. That's what these kids love, like, do you know what I'm saying? And then she could be thinking that, you know, because for all we know, you're looking at them in like 2-3 years, and they're the biggest thing on Instagram.
You know, but that's something that they say. They said another reason why they don't want to get a job is because apparently the effect that they have on other people is so great that they feel that if they were to go to a 9-to-5 job, they would be, I guess, denying people their greatness.
That's bullshit, the thing is, like, you see me, life is a hustle, innit? So I don't mind hustle, innit? Don't try and chat rubbish. You're hustling, innit? Yeah. Like, I'm sure, like, you know, there are people that are making dough from Instagram, innit?
No, of course,
But the fact is, like, you're trying to live an easy life, innit? You're trying to do, like, kind of the bare minimum where you can live this lavish lifestyle and you don't have to put in the crazy amount of work. And fortunately for people like them, those kind of avenues exist now. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it kind of gives an idea of a different idea of working. We don't have to work in this regimented 9-to-5 system. You know what I mean?
And I'm up for that. Do you know what I'm saying? The only thing is, it's like, it's just the same thing that we was talking about the government, and what you was going back to what you were talking about, the whole Tyler Perry situation. It's about what's the legacy that you're leaving. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's all good to say, look, don't feel that you have to just go to school and that's the only route to any kind of level of success in life. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think till at least secondary school, like, you know, everyone should at least finish that level of education. Even then, there's a small level of people that is probably still not for them. But I think as much as you can, you should try and at least, after that college and university, that's the point where it's up to you if you want to go down that road. But even if you don't want to go down that road, please have an idea of what you're trying to do. Don't just be like, oh, school's not for me. Oh, so what are you doing? I'll kind of figure it out. Do you know what I'm saying? You might as well go college. Do you know what I'm saying? Just pick whatever subject is like the most kind of thing that you like. Because if you don't have an idea, just sitting around doing nothing, that's not the one. But you know what I'm saying? People always say like, Chris, what's his name? Richard Branson never went, he never finished school. Yeah, okay, but Richard Branson knew what he was going to do. He knew that he was trying to start up Virgin or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll never talk about the thing about how he was like setting up, I don't know, selling like lemonade or something. Do you know what I'm saying? All these kind of things. He weren't just like, I don't want to go to school and so I'm just going to be chilling, like watching TV or on the roads, like playing like with my friends. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, if you don't want to go to school, that's not the end of the world. But know why you're not going to school. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just like for these people, so, please teach these people that, it's not about just having a 9-to-5 job. That the good thing about the social media is it has opened up a world where people could be entrepreneurial. Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. But then on the flip side, it seems that the most people that are blowing off of the Instagram and they're just promoting this lavish lifestyle, this like, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of the people, and what's a shame as well is it's fashionable to promote the lavish lifestyle or the easy lifestyle. So even there's people that have worked hard but they kind of make it look like they didn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
And the joke is, a lot of them don't actually live this lavish life. They just take pictures and edit them, and they
take 100 pictures and choose the one that tells the best story.
Yeah, and I've read an article about how Instagram influencers, they stage their pictures.
100%.
So it looks so lavish, like they've got this from there and there, and it looks like they're living the best life when they may not be. Right. But they have to sell this dream to everyone else, so people continue following them. Yeah. Oh, they're living this great life. I can possibly live that great life too if I do what they do.
And I think I've always said, like, I only came on social media recently, and that's just because, with my music and everything, I always knew that I was going to get on social media, but I only wanted to use it from a business sense. So it was only until it got to a certain level, that's when because I just felt like, it's just like, like imagine your company, you got like at some point we're going to need a website. But if your company isn't ready to have a website, you're not just going to have a website just because that's what companies do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the website has to serve a purpose. So for me, I didn't want to just get on social media just because that seemed like the thing to do. I wanted it to be right. Yeah. And I feel like with social media, it is a situation where it has so many benefits.
Welcome to the Royal Festival at Southbank Centre. The house is now open. At this time, we invite you to take your seats for this evening's performance of the Light in the Concert, which will begin at 8 o'clock.
Thank you. Oh, they're still going.
Drinks inside the auditorium this evening, as long as they're acoustic. The house is now open, so please take your seats. Thank you.
What was I saying?
About social media.
Yeah, there's so many good things, but there's so many bad aspects to it as well.
But yeah, it's a funny, interesting debate. I was actually talking about this a lot last week and maybe at the weekend with my co-writer and also Sophie, right? Okay, yeah. And we were talking about the fact of...
Big up Sophie, by the way.
Do you know Instagram's only been around for 9 years? Yeah. Facebook started in 2015 or 2014. So these things are still in their kind of infancy, and they've already caused so much change in society that if you think about it, like, what's the future got to hold? Like, like you said, you've just jumped on social media. I've been on it since the beginning, right?
So I've seen
the changes, and when I first got on Instagram, it was like people didn't even know what it was for. Like they were like, people were posting these artsy pictures and like all these vintage stuff, and it was kind of nice space to be. Like it was kind of like, and then as time went on, it's kind of like people were like, you know, as things are like testing the boundaries, how far can we take this? And everyone's setting each other's standards to the point where 9 years later, we are so spiraled out of control. We don't know what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable on Instagram or just social media in general. It just feels like people are kind of, maybe it's not a bad thing, but then it's maybe not a good thing. You don't need to tell everyone everything that's going on with you, you know?
It's just like, and that's the reason why I didn't jump on it for so long, because it's just the whole, I mean, I've always been a person, I don't like fakeness. That's just, it just irritates me. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like some people say, I don't like fakeness, but really, like, you don't really care. But like, literally, it's like, I can rant about an hour easily about, you know, if someone's done something like on a fake level, because it's just like, what is the point? Like, because my mum always used to say something like, if you're lying, like when I got caught out telling a lie, I used to get in trouble in school all the time, so try and lie about stuff, and like if I got caught, one thing she always said to me, like, you're not lying to me, you're only lying to yourself.
Oh, my mum used to say that all the time. Used to hit me deep.
Trust me, bro.
What do you mean?
Like, do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, those kind of words kind of stuck with me. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I could go out and like, you know, lie about, you know, oh, I got this car, or, you know, I got this much money. And at the end of the day, if people believe me because I've sold the lie good enough, that's great, innit? But at the end of the day, I still know that I haven't got any of those things. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what kind of I just think about when these people are doing it. All right, so you said that, you know, you go on all these crazy holidays and, you know, you've got all this kind of clothes and whatnot. But like, you know that you don't have that. Like, people think that, but it's like, is that enough? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Does that feeling of people think you have that stuff, is that what you, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's just so weird.
And it's also maybe the instant gratification that we get. Like you said, people just want things. Yeah. So I post a picture and it gets a certain amount of likes, it makes me feel better about myself. But what if I post a picture and it doesn't get as much likes as the previous picture? Then I might feel a way about that. You know, then I might have to do whatever I can to try and reach that point. So if you think about it, social media is like a drug. Yeah,
well, 100% it's a drug. It's an emotional drug.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's it preys on people's insecurities. So if you're an insecure person, social media is not the place for you. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you really need to deal with those securities before going, because social media is a ruthless, wild west frontier type of like environment. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, because, you know, I feel sorry for people who, like, you know, go on social media and like and, you know, they encounter like, you know, cyberbullying and all that kind of, that's really like heartbreaking stuff. But at the same time, and it's an unpopular opinion, but it's like, you don't need to be on social media. Like,
you don't even have to take any notes of it.
Because people would be like, you know, like, you know, this social media bullying and cyber, what's the answer? The answer is don't go on it.
Yeah, log off.
Like, literally
delete the comments.
Go on it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, and that is a really like unpopular opinion to have. Like, you can literally, I don't know, like get hounded down crazy just for even like uttering that. Yeah. But the fact is, it's like people act like social media is life. Like that. And it's funny because in a way it kind of is becoming life, but at the same time it's like you can survive without it. And if you want to be a part of it, you have to know what it comes with. Right now, it's so unregulated. And the whole point of social media, the whole thing is, these people, you have obviously the openness of it, whereas like, you know, if you're on Facebook, they try and crack down to make sure everyone's like got real accounts and it's the real people. But there's other things where the whole beauty of it is people get to be who maybe they want to be. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you take these companies, they know that, so they don't want to take that away from people. And that allows people to have a certain level of anonymity. And once you get anonymity, people show who they really are, or they try and be what they can't be in real life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're that person that you get bullied and whatever, and you can't assert yourself on social media, you get to be the big strong bully and the one bullying others now, because do you know what I'm saying? And it's just a shame that, but that's the fact. That's what it's about. So it's like people need to be educated that you're going to be a part of this world. You have to understand right now, that's what it's about.
It's true.
And if you can't handle it, then do you know what I'm saying?
But I think it's kind of hard for maybe people who are being born into it, like now, whereas
I'll get you.
us who have kind of, we can
We've
remember
seen
a time before it.
Exactly. No, I feel that. I feel that.
So like for us, it's kind of like, I remember what it was like before the internet, bro. You know?
And the thing is, I was speaking to someone just the other day, about the internet. And when it first came, do you remember? Because back in the day, there was no search engine. So it's like, for you to go and check something, you had to know
where you were going.
the website. You had to know the website of what you were going on. And it's just like, and this is gonna sound mad, but like, I was just gonna keep it real. Obviously, as a kid, especially being a boy, you're trying to find porn sites.
When that picture loads, that was it.
But you know, but the funny thing is, like now, like imagine like you wanted to like, you know, like go and check some porn. You can just type in whatever your fancy is, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, women, this with like certain whatever. I'm not gonna get into like, you know what I'm talking about, innit? You can type in the keywords of whatever you're interested in, and that would come up. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas then you had to know. So unless someone gave you the website, you're just typing. If you typed in whatever, you know, big booty chick, you're just gonna get a blank page, because that doesn't exist. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. So life was so different.
And we can remember the time where there was no use the phone and be online.
Oh my days.
Was be online or use the phone.
Mate.
I remember times where I used to come home from work, or not work, sorry, from school, and I'll jump online, I'll be online for a bit, and then my mum would be like, I want to use the phone.
Mate. It was so peak. And the thing is, like, when kind of like, you know, like the file to file, the P2P sharing and that. So, you know, like, what was it, like LimeWire, Napster?
Yeah.
So those were the kind of first times where, like, you know, people like downloading music. Like these guys, whoever created these were the pioneers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Pioneers of streaming.
But the funniest thing is, like, back then, it's like, it would take like now if you was to download a track, like what, couple seconds, 30 seconds, depending on your kind of internet speed or whatever, that track, a whole album, a couple of minutes. Back then, one track could take you like close to an hour. Real talk.
That's real, bro.
Like just one 3-minute track, take you close to an hour, And then the thing is, like, as you're just looking at that percentage bar, if that got to like 90 something and that phone rang, boom, you've been waiting a whole hour, that's gone.
That's it.
And then by the time you come back, you have to start again. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Life was real.
No, it was.
Like, you would have to, like, you know them ones, like, you have to do your file sharing at night. Like, you know what I'm saying? That you just did a whole bag, like 20 tracks or whatever, and just left that and just hope nobody rang.
You know?
No one did an emergency call, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I don't want to say we had it easier, but life was actually much simpler.
Nah, it was.
Back then, like, there was a time when in life, if you can imagine it, where you could go somewhere, and on the travels there, you might have come up with there might be traffic on the way. You wouldn't be able to tell the person who you're meeting until you turned up 2 hours later.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it was, the level of connection was just like, it was a myth. And you just think, like, how did we survive? But we did, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's, as you said, innit, like, people that, not everyone had a mobile phone. So it's, if you was caught in something, if you had a meeting with someone, or if you couldn't find your, like, imagine like back then, like there was no Google Maps, so you had to rely on remembering
there was
the
no sat nav, you know,
that someone gave you, like, do you know what I'm saying?
I remember
like,
being in the car with my dad, and my dad would give me the map, and he would be like, "We're here, right? Just tell me when we're coming off of the junctions," and I'm like, "Oh, all right," and I can do that. But like, there's people that if the sat nav was to go down, and you're in the middle of nowhere, you're screwed.
You're screwed. You're screwed.
And like, it shouldn't. It's even like bigger things, like the fact that we don't know how to farm for ourselves. So if God forbid everything was to go down and there was to be no supermarkets, what are we doing? Like, we can't
that's why I watch all these kind of like Walking Dead and that, because I'm trying to get ready, bruv. Like, there's certain people, you know? They're not ready, bruv. They're gonna be the first ones to, like, you know, all these people that are super just addicted and absorbed by social media. Like, sometimes you got to switch off and be able to do things for yourself. Like, sometimes it's almost like you just got to train yourself, because it's like, you know, like, I think just the other day, I think Instagram, Facebook and WhatsApp was down.
It was recently. It was last couple of days. That was mad.
And it's just like everybody.
I thought it was like, just
everybody just loses their mind, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I'm not gonna lie. I just like, okay, that's it. It's down, and I just kept it moving. But it's like with me, like, I'm not trying to sound like anything like special or whatever.
No,
but it's just like I'm not so absorbed into like the whole social. But there's people, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's funny, like, cause I work in like on public transport, so I'm on the trains all the time, and sometimes I just go through my train and I'll play this game when I'll see who's not on their phone. I literally play that game, walk through, and like, you know, obviously it's like, I'm not telling people, but it's like in my head, oh, you're the winner, like, you know what I'm saying? If I get to you and like you know what I'm saying, you're not on your phone, but like, no word of a lie, like, I would walk through a packed train and like 90% of the people are on their phone, and just like, you know, like when you're like on Instagram and like you're just like kind of like scrolling, right? And then when you're doing it, like, you're kind of like, obviously you're engaging with this screen, right?
Sometimes.
So, but it's like when you look at someone else doing it, it's, bro, like, it's such an eerie thing, because like, you know, like back in the day when you watch these kind of like Twilight Zones, and like they predicted all this stuff, bro, and you just think that it was scary, because you just felt like, imagine that, but you could never believe that could ever be. It's just someone's weird imagination, you know, of a scary scenario. But you're seeing that all these kind of Black Mirrors and that, even till now, they're showing us what's happening, but people still look at it like it's some kind of weird alternative. But it's reality, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I think. I was talking about this the other day as well. It's kind of like, if they play it to people as entertainment, they see it as kind of, oh, ha, 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 that's funny. Imagine if that happened. But imagine if that happened.
I'm saying, like, literally, I'll just like see, and people, they just look like zombies, and just like sliding, you know, just with the phone and your thumb, it's just sliding, image, looking for a couple of seconds, slide, like, slide. And literally, it's just like, and with me, like, when I'm on social media, like, and I'm on Instagram, when I'm going through, I'm actually taking time to look at so I don't actually get to go through that much, because after like I'm actually mentally absorbing what I'm seeing, and I'm taking a couple of seconds to, do I like it? No. All right. And if I like it, I'm proper like, what do I like about it? I might watch the same video a couple of times. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like, the majority of people just like literally just,
that's
they
me.
can get through like about 50 images in like a minute or whatever, like, do you know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of thing where it's like, you're letting the social media use you, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's meant to be the other way around.
There's times when I go on and I'm just like, why did I come on here?
Mate, I'm not gonna lie, that's me sometimes as well. Like, you get lost in the social media source, mate. Like, you know, like, you can just like, you can go into your phone and think, I need to message someone,
Yeah.
right? You go into your phone, you go onto WhatsApp, and then you see a couple like messages, so you, all right, I'm gonna check that message, and that message leads to someone sent a link onto Instagram. You go onto Instagram, you're checking that, then maybe that links, you find a new page, and you go and check their YouTube page, and then like you're in YouTube watching, and you're like, wait, why did I pick up my phone again? Like these are the most important thing. You needed to message someone urgent, and you haven't even done that, and you can't even remember. That's what you needed. It's crazy, man. It's mad, and I'm not trying to pretend like I'm some kind of, because I get caught in it as well. But it's like, I think the best thing you can do is be aware of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And some people, they're not even aware, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's handy that I think Instagram and like iPhones have recently done it, and they've got this timer. It shows you how often you go on your phone, and then Instagram have how often you use Instagram, which is making people aware of. But then it's also a cop-out, like, because like people like Steve Jobs, he's is it Steve Jobs that created, was Microsoft, was it?
No, Steve Jobs is Apple.
Apple, is it? It's Apple,
yeah. Bill Gates is Microsoft.
So Steve Jobs, he created Apple, and he doesn't let his children or his family use Apple devices.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that, you know.
Like the guy who created Windows, Microsoft, Bill Gates. Yeah. Same with him. Created that device, does not let his family use it.
Because they know. Even who was it? Mark Zuckerberg. I found out that he puts like some kind of like tape or something over his webcams on these like computers and stuff.
I know a lot of
so
people
it's like,
that do that.
I do that as well, I'm not gonna lie, because I watched that, what was that film? Snowden. Yeah. So it's just the paranoia, but it's like, but at the same time, these people are part of that, so they know the risks. They know it, and they still kind of perpetuate it by, you know, their technologies that promote all this stuff.
Exactly.
But they know the dangers themselves, and it's back to the same thing. It's leaving the legacy. It's like, are you trying to just do for yourself, or are you trying to do for other people? And that's what it boils down to. And that's what, and the majority of people in this world, not just because of social media, but just as a kind of human being, as a species, it's that for self kind of thing. And that's where it's led us like down. I mean, I'm trying to be into fitness, and I don't check my fitness from like kind of social media and stuff like that, because you just see people doing all kind of, and you don't know what's real.
No, it's true.
Do you know what I'm saying? You don't know who's taking steroids. You don't know who's had implants, and so it's just pointless even trying to use these kind of people as references. But there was one guy that I've been watching his kind of channel recently, and he basically talks about breaking these kind of myths of these kind of people that are doing these. And then he was talking about this kind of female athlete, right? Not athlete, sorry, like personal trainer or whatever they call themselves, Instagram trainers or whatever. And he was talking about how she was showing these kind of like, you know, like when you go on Israel, I don't know if you follow any kind of like fitness kind of pages or whatever, but you see people doing these crazy it's not just about doing like, you know, a squat, or it has to be some intricate, crazy looking variation, because just looking at it, it looks mad. So they must be in some crazy shape because they can do this crazy version of it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's more about the kind of look rather than is it practical, is it safe? And he's basically talking about, if you look at it, what she's doing is so unsafe. If you try that, the average person, you're gonna cause yourself mad injury. And then on top of that, it's like she's when she puts the description of it, she's not breaking down how to do the actual exercise. Do you know what I'm saying? So someone's just gonna try it, not knowing that there's certain things you need to put in place or whatever, and that's how you cause yourself injury. But as a personal trainer, if you're a real personal trainer, you should have the well-being of the people that are following you. Do you know what I'm saying? That should be the forefront of what you're trying to do. But you just care the fact that you're gonna get so many likes from this.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that is where we are. Like,
it comes back to kind of the entitlement thing that you were talking about before. It's kind of like it's just people of kind of this generation. I feel maybe they are entitled because they do have everything at their fingertips. Anything they want, they can have technically if they put hard work into it.
Yeah.
But technically, everything that we would have maybe tried to put music out, there was only one way to put music out. You had to become a major label star. But now you can put your song on SoundCloud and millions of people could hear it. So it's kind of like they do have everything and they are privileged, but it's like what they do with that privilege and how they can kind of be humble with it.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%, man. I mean, it is like a kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And it is like, you can't blame the people that are kind of acting the way they are acting, because then when you always try and trace the root to it, sometimes it's not always their fault. It's the way society has made them. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's easy just to look at it. That's why I just try not to judge people. I mean, you always, as a joke, you always slyly judge people, but on a real, when I try and deep things, just everybody do you kind of thing, innit? And all you can do is kind of be responsible for yourself. So at the end of the day, it's just like we were talking about these two people that, they were planning to be, Instagram stars, and they're trying to do their GoFundMe. Good luck to them. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, me personally, I wouldn't go down that route. I think it's a bit shallow, or it's a bit you know what I'm saying, as we're talking about, entitled to think that someone should just give you something just because you want it. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you can ask someone for however much, $9,000 and you get it, well, boy, do you know what I'm saying? Good luck to you. You know what I'm saying? You're obviously doing something better than what I'm doing, innit? But me personally, I want to work for what I don't want to be entitled. Or not even entitled. I don't want to be in a position where my life is in someone else's hands.
Yeah, and also it feels better when you actually work for something as opposed to being just handed it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the work would be like to get to that point. So you might get to that point and look down at everyone else because you were handed this opportunity.
And the most important thing, it's not even just about attaining something.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of these people are missing, and I think that's something that we haven't kind of touched on either. Is attaining something is sometimes one of the easiest things to do.
Yeah.
It's keeping hold of it that is the hardest thing.
That's true.
And a lot of what these people are doing, because they get it so quick, and because of the methods that they use to get it, they're in the position where the likelihood is they're not going to be able to attain it. One, because they don't appreciate how they got it. Two, they haven't put in the work to even understand what it's about and the value of it. Do you know what I'm saying? If someone just came to you and gave you £1 million, do you know what I'm saying? Just like that, chances are you might just start going on a holiday, you might start just doing this, and if you're not diligent enough, you could lose that money in quick time. Whereas if you spent the last 10 years trying to get this million, and you finally got it, chances are you are going to do bits with that. And that's not trying to say it's a science that works with everyone, but the chances are, because you knew what it took you, I'm not trying to just give, do you know what I did to get this? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just, and that is part of the process of being successful, the journey. And a lot of these people are missing the journey.
And building your foundations as well. Investing, not just investing money-wise, investing in where you came from.
Yeah.
Because these people, from where you came from, all these people who you want to deny, they're the people who are supporting you because they're looking at you like, rah, he's able to make it out. Why can't I do it?
Yeah.
And that's generally all I think about it is if you can look at like you said, most people who are up there, big household names now, they've come from poor backgrounds, and throughout all the shit that the world has thrown at them, they've been able to make it. And yet there's all these other millions and billions of people that find a way to make an excuse for the reasons why they can't do it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, that's what I said. You gotta be responsible for you, and in life, like a lot of the times, things that happen, or there are unfortunate circumstances where just life just seems to be unfair, and you just get dealt a rubbish hand. The dice just rolls the wrong way, and you know what I'm saying. You get put in certain situations that are out of your control. But the majority of the time, a lot of things that happen to us is based on the decisions we've made ourselves. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people need to understand that, even to the whole like thing with like social media. As I said, like, you know, you're gonna go on social media, just understand what it's about, so that when things happen, you know that I went in this knowing that there was a chance that this can happen. But people just like want just the good stuff, and they don't want to be realistic and understand that there's a chance that bad stuff can happen. So when the bad stuff happens, they're like in shock and in disbelief and this shouldn't happen, where really, like, if you like try and live your life in a way that, you know, you're kind of trying to expect that bad things can happen, you're going to be a person that trying to pattern your life in a way that would prevent it in the most possible way that you can. Whereas if you're only thinking of the best case scenario, it's just like, I was speaking to my barber, we were talking about being late and stuff, and it's like, a lot of the time, why are we late? Because you kind of give yourself if you go on tfl.gov, and it says it's going to take you 35 minutes
you need
to get
give
from here.
yourself an hour.
But most people give themselves 35 minutes. So it's like you're basically living in like, as long as everything happens the way it's supposed to, then it's all gonna work out. I'm gonna be on time. Whereas that's not the way. Like, you're gonna get on the train and maybe like the train might be a little bit early or a little bit late. You just missed it, or you know, someone's done a madness on the train's now 5 minutes late, or do you know what I'm saying?
Stops in the tunnel. And
do you know what I'm saying? Oh, sorry, there's a signal in front, and you know, all this kind of, and that's life, innit? People need to kind of expect, and it's not trying to be cynical, but it's just expect, like, if there's scenarios where there is something bad or there is an outcome that is not favorable, plan for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Plan for it. It's better to plan for it and it don't happen than for it to happen and you're not prepared. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And that's where this sense of entitlement comes into it. You expect nothing bad to ever happen. And all that does is it raises a generation of people that are kind of mentally fragile. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's a part of what we was talking about, even in terms of the journey. Part of the journey is to condition yourself mentally. Do you know what I'm saying? For things that are gonna happen, or things that could happen. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, but could it be possibly like, because in schools nowadays, like, I know when we were at school, like, if you win the race, you win. If you lose, you lose. Nowadays, everyone's a winner.
I mean,
but I don't see, as much as it's a good thing, it's kind of.
I don't think it's a good thing. I mean, I get it. I get it in terms of, like, you know, because the reason why these kind of things happen is knee-jerk reactions, right? So you get a situation where you get a generation of people that feel a certain way because, you know, they were never good at stuff, and you know, now they're insecure about certain things, or they're not mentally strong to try things because all their life they've been a loser, and do you know what I'm saying? And that is a sad thing, you know what I'm saying? But then, rather than just like try and figure out what is a way that, you know, we can solve this problem, that, you know, we're not just thinking about what it would do right now, but what it would lead to. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. People just say, all right, let's just put a plaster over it. Let's just, the most logical, not even the most logical, the most kind of like basic answer that is just going to deal with the situation right now. And and let's just run with that. And the thing is with like, you know, everybody's a winner. What that kind of does is then what about the people that were, because the thing is about it as well is everybody's got a different place in society.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like it's like everybody wants to be the same. And that's the whole thing with social media as well. It's like no one wants to be an individual no more. Like you might not be the fastest runner, but that person who is the fastest runner, maybe that's their calling, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not the fastest runner, but I guarantee there's something that you can do that this person who's the fastest runner, just go and find whatever that is. Like, do you know what I'm saying? We can't just want to be everything.
Like it's kind of this idea that like the only place to be is at the top.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about right at the beginning, and it's kind of like a.
But the top of where though?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Just
it's like
winner.
you're just like all right. I want to be like, all right, everybody's a winner at racing, yeah. But does everybody that ran that race in school really want to be a sprinter?
Probably not.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, what does it matter that you've got to teach people that you're gonna lose in certain things. You've got to teach people about rejection.
Yeah.
That's what makes you stronger. And if you're just teaching people that there's no such thing as losers, there's no such thing. When they get into the real world and you find out that you are losing and stuff, you're not gonna be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like. And that's where we're talking about these kind of answers to these situations that are not well thought through. You're not thinking ahead. You're just thinking, let's just deal with the situation now so that we don't really have to deal with it. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got all these people asking us, we're in charge and we're meant to have answers, but we don't have the answers, so let's just do this and hope that everyone leaves us alone. Like, do you know what I'm saying? No one's really trying to put the work in to actually, look, this is going to take time. We are aware of the problem, but we're going to have to take time trying to find the solution. But rather than, let's just think of a quick answer that sounds good, and let's keep it moving. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And usually it just makes things even worse than how it started out. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's so true. So true.
It's crazy, man.
But let me get on to you as opposed to all this other random stuff on social media. What I know you as a poet.
Yeah.
But I know also from talking to you that you're a filmmaker and you're also writing a web series at the moment.
Yeah.
But what else do you do? What else are you working on, man?
Funny enough, I rap.
Okay.
So that is mainly like kind of, in terms of like a lyrical sense, that is what I've been doing. I mean, I dropped a mixtape last year. It was like an ode to old school hip hop.
Okay,
especially during like the 90s and early 2000s era of hip hop. So I just exactly. And I basically, it was like a American kind of style of hip hop from the 90s into noughties era, but from a London person perspective. So what I did was I chose kind of like beats.
Like boom bap type beats.
No, just iconic beats like from like the era. So like, you know, like from iconic artists.
Like shook ones
like,
and stuff like that.
Like Nas.
Yeah.
Took one beat from him. Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie. Like, you know what I'm saying? All these kind of like couple of these iconic hip hop artists. I just chose one track each and just covered it and just did my own version, but from a London perspective. So I'm not talking about just like, you know, like just the typical, like, you know, like gangsterism. He's talking about being a Londoner, because that's my whole thing. I'm a person. I grew up in the ends, and you know, I grew up around a lot of endsy stuff and a lot of criminality and a lot of like you know, hustling and poverty and stuff. But I made different choices from a lot of my peers and a lot of my friends. I decided I wasn't trying to be a drug dealer. I wasn't trying to be like, you know, like a fraudster or whatever. Like I felt that I had opportunities. I had that, you know, abilities in which, like, you know, I was lucky enough to be quite academic, do you know what I'm saying? I was never like the smartest person in class, but I was up there, like, you know what I'm saying? I had the ability that I could take to education. And there was a lot of people that were in that same boat, but you chose to just deny that and say because, you know, you want to make quick money. And I just always feel if you've got something, why waste it? Do you know what I'm saying? And I had opportunity. It was never easy for me, but like, you know, even in terms of trying to get a job, the amount of times I went through interviews and they told me no, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of it is because I've had to learn to like kind of assimilate myself into like a kind of like a working environment. So because of where I come from, academics can only teach you a certain thing, but your kind of social upbringing is like, you know, maybe the way you talk or the way you perceive yourself, like, you know what I'm saying, And a lot of people are scared of change or having like different identities, That's not a bad thing. So it's like, I always felt myself like, you gotta, especially when you're from a certain era and you're looked at a certain way, you gotta kind of learn to be a chameleon, like, do you know what I'm saying, So it's like, when I'm with my boys, I can talk a certain way. When I'm in a certain environment, I know how to talk a different way, do you know what I'm saying? And that's not like me lying, because I'm not talking in a way that's not me. I'm just maybe like using a certain level of like phraseology, like, do you know what I'm saying? To make myself kind of like blend in, like to certain like scenarios, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and just be that, because it's all about kind of playing like a game, if you will, like, do you know what I'm saying? And you've got to try and adapt. It's just like what's these? I don't know if you've heard Getz's new album.
Which one was that?
The Ghetto Gospel.
Yes, I've heard that.
Is it part 2 or?
I think it's part 2.
Something like that. It's amazing. Amazing album.
It's
like,
arrangement of it,
and I just think, like, in terms of like an artist who I think that he's clocked the game in sense of like keeping true to what you are saying, but also kind of 100%. Like a mainstream kind of side to him, and then at the same time still delivering a message, because there's a lot of people that they clock the game in terms of like they kind of doing their gas thing and being true to themselves, but there's no message behind what you're saying. Like, other than me listening to it and think that's a sick beat, and maybe you dropped a few like metaphors and punchlines here, I'm not going away feeling a little bit better than I am. Whereas what gets done, which I was so impressed by, is that he kept true. Like, I don't think he softened himself to kind of appear more mainstream, but at the same time, like, you kind of walked away thinking, I've learned something new from listening to this, you know what I'm saying? And that's what music is meant to do. It's meant to educate, inform, as well as entertain. Do you know what I'm saying?
Also with Getz is he hasn't broken away from where he was like back in the day. Like, it's still the same Getz. But
at the same time, there is a message in what he's saying. Like, there's certain tracks where, you know, you've got the like gangster stuff, do you know what I'm saying? But there's also redemption in some of these songs. There's also like a message of like trying to like uplift, and do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's missing.
But then that's kind of also about seeing his growth of where he's come from to where he is now.
And that's what you want to see in an artist, is the growth. Do you know what I'm saying? No, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong from like starting off from like a certain point in life, but it's that growth that is inspiring. Do you know what I'm saying? And so there's one part of his lyric where it's a tune called what's the tune called? Sounds of the. It's a spiral beat, but he's talking about I think it's called Pick Up the Phone. That's it, And he's talking about how his mum, she has like 3 different accents. And she can be like proper like Caribbean, or really posh, like, do you know what I'm saying? Or just like, do you know what I'm saying? And he's like, it just depends who phones her, kind of 100. Thing, And that's what I'm talking about in terms of like playing the game. Like, you can be true to yourself, but know that in certain scenarios you've got to, and everybody does. Every successful person does it, depending on what scenario is. It's called like, when I was where I used to work in retail, and there's a thing called tailoring your approach. So when you approach a customer, so if I saw like someone from the ends, I'm gonna talk to them like, yo, what's going on,
Yeah,
bro? Like,
yeah,
you good?
yeah,
What are you looking for today? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what that new little hoodie one? Yeah. Now that's popping right now, innit? Look, I'll show you. Do you know, right now, they feel warm to you, innit? They feel like, this is my type of guy.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Now, if what's it called, an old white guy comes in, I'm not gonna talk to him like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna think, well, this dude trying to rob me, or like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, hi, evening, sir. Like, how you doing? Like, you alright? Is there anything else? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because you're trying to interact with people in a way that makes them feel comfortable, and you're trying to, it's like an exchange.
Yeah.
And for you to get things out of other people, you have to connect with them in a way that they're comfortable with. And that's what a lot of people think, I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real, and that's the mentality. And then you wonder why you're going to these jobs. No one's giving me a job. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I was young, I was going through jobs, and I had to learn. You can't go to the job and try and think that you're speaking to one of your boys, and do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and think, because in my head I thought like especially if I'm going to like JD, innit, I'm thinking because like I'm like JD, like bare people like me shopping JD.
Yeah.
So if I come, they're gonna think, he's the kind of guy that we need. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But really, for someone who don't know me, he's thinking, is this the type of guy that's just going to be late every day? Is he going to... So, do you know what I'm saying? It is what's it called? It is a bit of a discrimination, but it's a discrimination based on a stereotype because they don't know you, innit?
Yeah.
Like, if they knew me and it was like maybe like, I don't know, my dad's friend's the manager and he knows of like my personality and what I'm about, maybe I can go and talk to him because he knows, even though he's talking like that, I know that he's someone who's going to turn up to each other. But if I don't know you, I've got to make you think, not have a perception of me. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's about playing it smart. So I don't even know how I got onto this.
Not sure either, man.
But yeah, so I'm a musician.
That was the original question.
I do rap. I do rap. So it's a message of like the normal kind of like Londoner, the average Londoner that I try and talk about in my raps.
So you said that you dropped that one mixtape. Are you working on another project?
I've got another project coming out next month.
Cool.
That's called London Underground.
Interesting.
And that is kind of an ode to the spoken word. So I've only got into spoken word like about just over a year ago now.
I'll swear down. That's pretty good.
So it's like I went to one of my friends told me about a spoken word kind of poetry / lyrics event, Word on Street.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't think I've been to Word on Street.
Yeah, Word on Street is great, man. Shout out Shady. And I went there, and because it said, like hip hop, I thought, but it's like you have to do it to a cappella. So I thought, I'm just gonna go. That was kind of a time when my mixtape dropped. So I thought, I'm just gonna go and promote it. I'm gonna drop one of the lyrics to one of my mixtapes, and I'm just gonna do it a cappella. So I done it, and thankfully, like got a good reception. But I like heard all these kind of spoken word artists, and I was like, whoa. This is some deep shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these guys, they're not playing, they're not fucking around, like, you know, like, they're, like, like, their lyrics are, like, without being on a hip-hop beat, they are spitting bars. And I'm like, this is different, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've always been, like, I always kind of saw, like, the spoken word thing as a bit artsy, and, like,
everyone sees it like that,
like the Black Power movement, and, like, like, and that's all positive, but, like, with me, I'm a bit more, like, I just want to be free, and I just want to be able to say things that are like, crazy and I just thought there was a certain type of people
I thought that before I got
when it comes to spoke, they're all like kind of like, if you try to talk about anything like other than something like, let's get the brothers and the sisters to like believe in it. If you're trying to say anything other than that, they're gonna kind of look down on you. So I thought it's probably like I feel it for what it is, but it's not my scene. But I've gone there and I'm thinking it's really open that you can just be free and talk about, and you got the people speaking a positive message, and they're amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? But if you're not about that, you can still be like respected for like
very
what you're
supportive
exactly.
community
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I loved about it. You just go in and people are so like there for you. Like the crowds are always amazing. And it's an addictive buzz, man. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I went there and I was like, you know what? These kind of, I thought I was just gonna go there and smash it. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna, I got some deep bars, I'm gonna go there. Like, I'm gonna be the best, but I'm gonna be up there.
Yeah.
And I left feeling very humbled, like thinking, nah, these spoken word, they're on a different level. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna try and jump on this thing as well. And that's kind of how my journey began. I just started writing spoken word pieces, and I've been doing it ever since, and just using that to kind of promote my music as well, and even just help me with my writing, because it's a different form of writing. It's like kind of really free, and like it's really kind of like it gives you a sense of like freedom that music writing doesn't, because when you're writing music you're kind of restricted to like fit in your words in the beat and over a certain period, you know, whether you're writing like a 16 or whatever, do you know what I'm saying? You gotta say what you want to say and that in itself is really technical. It kind of teaches you to write kind of efficiently, but it's nice to have that like open canvas where you're allowed to go wherever you want to go. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what's so amazing about it. So been on the open mic spoken word kind of circuit, and I've been lucky to headline a few events as well.
Where did you headline?
Shout out Chocolate Poetry Club,
CPC.
you know, where I met the main man Corey himself. It's been a great journey. I've met so many amazing people, been able to collaborate with so many people, and that's even something that I'm doing with a couple other creators. We started up a creative collaboration company called Infinite Works, which is about bringing creatives together.
Okay, so what kind of work are you hoping to do with Creative Works?
So we want to like put on like workshops, events, showcasing events where people can do the same kind of thing I've been speaking about, you know, spoken word, music, promote their stuff to a live audience. The motivational kind of workshops that we want to do is all about kind of what we've been talking about, teaching people about empowerment, empowering themselves through collaboration and working with each other, because especially with the whole social media thing, one thing that it does do is it promotes this kind of solo journey. Even though you've got like kind of people, like you might have like a page where like a couple doing it together, but it's still their solo journey. It's all about everyone kind of like, you know, doing their thing and them trying to get people to get behind them. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas like, I believe, and a lot of the creators that are with me, that are working on this project with me, believe that the power is in working together. Do you know what I'm saying? Helping each other, and it's just I think it's a trust thing, really, because a lot of people are distrusting over each other.
Why would he help me, basically?
Exactly. Or like, you know, if we both do it together, like what happens, like, you know, like, when this blows, who gets the money, you know, that kind of thing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, because I remember like when I first pitched the idea, because I was speaking to a lot of people in regards to like the actual idea, like, do you think this would work? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to start this up with a few people. What do you think about this? And like one of the things that kept on coming up, all right, so if people work together, like, let's say that this blows, like, who gets the money? It's like that's the first thing that people go to. Like how do you split the money? Like, it's like, bro, like
fairly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, but it's like, it's just so funny that's why, because that's the first thing that people think to. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just and it's crazy. Like, a lot of times as an artist, the people that really blow, not even that really blow, I'd say the people that become so great at their craft are the people that have been doing it for so long without the money. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's how you know that someone does it because that's what they love doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So when your motivation is just money, obviously, of course, we all want to
get paid from our
we want to
craft.
get paid, do you know what I'm saying? But you've got to love what you do. I think Steve Jobs actually said that. You've got to love what you do because that's the only way you're going to wake up when it's not working and carry on doing it. Do you know what I'm saying?
And I think there's a better quote than working hard. You shouldn't work hard, you need to work smart.
No, 100%. 100%. Like you've definitely got to work hard, but you've got to be smart. You've got to be efficient with your time. There's no point in just putting hours down in something that you haven't researched or it's not working and you're not trying to change it up. And do you know what I'm saying? I mean, even the infinite works, it took quite a few iterations before it got to the position that it's in now because certain things weren't working. We had to switch it up, and do you know what I'm saying? That's what. So yeah, definitely work smart.
So when you say that you're going to do workshops, are you going to work with youth? Are you going to work with people of your age, people older?
So it's definitely going to be a mixture because when it comes to creativity, there is no age. I mean, I would definitely say, you know, a lot of the time it is a kind of like sometimes a younger person's game. So of course we're going to be dealing with a lot of a younger crowd, but it's not limited to that because our main thing is to kind of create this hub where it's for people that are in domestic situations, trying to juggle that with their creativity. So a lot of the time there are people who they're in a, like for these two people that we're talking about in Instagram, they're in a privileged position where they got their mum working the two jobs so that they can basically chase their dreams, innit? 99% of people are not in that position. 99% of people are in a position where, like, okay, 99 might be a bit too high, but a good percentage of people are in a position where they're not able to just chase their craft. They have to supplement that by taking like a part-time job. That's where the whole waitress gig come from, like in America or Hollywood and that.
Actors,
you know what I'm saying? They need to take on some kind of job that's a bit free, flexible, where they can kind of like do it. But you know, like if they've got like, you know, some kind of audition, they can speak to the guy and that, you know what I'm saying? Can I get this there? Because it's one of those jobs where you probably got loads of people on the wing where you can just bring someone else in. But I think that's even becoming more and more difficult. The way kind of the financial setup and things are so much more expensive, getting like kind of living conditions are so much harder. A lot of people are in positions where back in the day they would have just taken up a part-time job and been able to just live a humble life and still been able to chase their dreams, where now like part-time, like there's full-time jobs and you're still kind of living close to poverty. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so like taking on a part-time job, that's a myth, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are like myself, taking on full-time jobs, still trying to chase your dreams. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And even though like we're talking about people, I was like, how do you do it? It's not easy, and it still kind of puts you at a disadvantage because you're, as much as you still try and work extra around your 9 to 5 or shift pattern job or whatever, there's only so many hours in the day. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you was able to cut down the amount of times that you're working full time, you would be able to put more of that time in your craft, and you'd probably be able to move quicker in terms of getting to your position. So there's a lot of people that are in that position, and it's hard for them. But with collaboration, you can, it's just the same thing we were talking about, working smarter. Rather than me by myself trying to make all these things happen in the extra like 4 or 5 hours that I've got in a day, or 20 extra hours that I've got in a week, and trying to do it all myself. If I combine my 20 hours with your 20 hours, that's 40 hours right there, do you know what I'm saying? And we can do more together. If we combine that with another person, that's 60 hours worth of that, you know what I'm saying? And you can do more in a short period of time. And that's what we're trying to teach people, the art of collaboration.
It's a powerful message. I always thought that work created together with someone is always better than an idea that you can come up with on your own, because you might two people never have two ideas of the same idea.
Yeah.
So I might think of one way, and then you come in with another way. I'm like, right, I didn't even think about it like this, and this now makes our idea better. And we're here, and we're here, and we're here, and we're.
And even if it's a thing where you both disagree, if you kind of like work, if you just see that disagreement as not a negative thing, it still makes the idea stronger because by you two like intelligently battling your two perspectives, you will, if you're smart about it, come out with a better solution that is better than both of your ideas that you had individually. Do you know what I'm saying? So two heads are better than one, as they say, innit?
I know, I really like that idea, and I really like that plan. I'm really looking forward to seeing more
thank you.
about what happens with that.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely keep you tuned, and obviously it's collaboration, so we will be calling on you at some point. Hope to collaborate with you, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
What about books or? Because a lot of poets or writers, or they write books. Have you ever thought of writing a poetry book or maybe even a lyric book? Like, I know someone who's done that recently.
So it is definitely something that I've thought of. I mean, I've just got like books or not like books in terms of like what in the way that you're talking about, but I've just got books in terms of like just idea notepads and stuff like that, where I just jotted just all my ideas down, and when I'm writing like, you know, spoken word pieces or lyrics, just got books just all over the place, which I've got these little notepads that I write in. But I was thinking about the other day of kind of collating it all in one place, in a kind of like more organized kind of way. It was something that I was thinking about doing, but in terms of like in the near future, I would say that's not part of the plan, because right now I've got a few projects to do. So it's definitely something that's in the pipeline, but it's something that will probably be a bit further down the line. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And you've been in the game for not so long, so when you look at the poetry scene, what poets that, if you could name any, do you look up to that's kind of inspired you to write more?
So, I mean,
I know there's millions.
But you know what I'm saying? There's so many, so I don't want to feel like I'm what's it called? Just like
leaving out names.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because the thing about me is I'm a kind of person, I'm a people person. In terms of like, I've always been fascinated by people. I've always been fascinated about why people do things, the way people talk, mannerisms, that kind of stuff, in almost like a psychological kind of way. I've always found it interesting, the way people are just so different. And because of that, I've always kind of like taken little bits. So even if it's like, I might have taken a lot from that person, but I only took a little bit from that person, I don't look at that person I took a lot from more valuable than that, because that little bit could end up being more valuable than the lot that I took from. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's people that I'm kind of close to, like shout out Woodsy, YA, Miss Yankee, and all three of those people I mentioned are different types of poets. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like I can take something from each one of them that will make me a better poet. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they've all got different styles. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what's so amazing about the scene. And it's like you meet people, you go to different shows, and someone they get on the stage, and you think, who is this? Like, you know, who is this like little fragile creature? And they just start spitting the fire, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And that's what's just so amazing about it. And just every day you're finding new like people that just blow your mind.
Like I don't know if you were at Chocolate Poetry, I don't know what month it was, maybe last month or the month before, and there was this guy who performed, his name's Aziz, and he performed this poem about being stabbed. But but not about being stabbed, about kind of knife crime. But it was less of kind of just what he was saying. It was the whole performance of the whole thing, and it was just he brought you into his whole world of this whole life of what it's like to be like on the road and being stabbed, and kind of thinking up scenarios to kind of counteract the realization, or I can't think of the word, confirm it in your head, but that's not the right words. Kind of make other people understand where you're coming from, but then at the same time show that it's wrong. But it's the way how he told the story that kind of hit me more than what he was saying.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what's so great about the spoken word scene, because there's some people that everyone's different, right? So you've got people that are performers, as you said, and you've got people that are just they're kind of like wordsmiths, and you've got people that are just not performers per se, but their words are just so deep. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it's just the experience is different all the time, and it's just such an amazing thing. And I think that even as a musician, like the project that I've got now, I kind of wrote it before like I really got into the spoken word scene. But I feel that my next project that I'm gonna do, that I'm currently working on now. So I've got my new mixtape called London.
It's coming out next month.
Yeah, coming out next month. And I've already got a project after that. It's my first EP, which is called London Eye.
I like that.
So that's gonna be coming out. Yeah.
Jeez. It's just around there.
So that's gonna be my first EP. But now I'm working on my follow-up to my London Underground, which is going to be called London Underground Volume 2.
Okay.
But I feel that because of this spoken word journey that I've been on, I feel that I'm going to have leveled up in terms of like my delivery, in terms of like kind of my... because I think one thing that the spoken word has allowed me to do has been free. And being able to say things, because sometimes in my music, I felt like I didn't want to, like, because I'm a bit of a private person as well, which is kind of mad to say, like, to be a lyricist. You don't always want to divulge your kind of personal life, so it's about kind of telling stories. But I felt that even though I was being personal, I was still kind of holding back a little bit, like, do you know what I'm saying? Whereas with this spoken word journey, it's kind of given me the kind of like freedom to just say, you know what, I'm happy to share this, like, and it's just the way where you see the response from the audience. As you said, they're so supportive. You can say, I've seen people say some mad shit, bro. Like, and not even just on a you know, like on a deep shit, but on just some mad, crazy, wacky, like, you're thinking, bro, like, for real, like, you're just gonna say that to us, and you know, people are just like, they're not like, you know, looking down on someone for saying that, like, that's what you. Sometimes it is like people are just left like, wow, did I just listen to that? But you know, you're still gonna give man the props for getting up there and saying it, and that just made me think, wow, like, if he or she can get up there and just be free enough to say that, how can I hold back? Like, do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel that going into this next project after my first EP, I feel in a different place. I feel like I'm gonna be able to do more than I've ever done, just because I feel like there's one or two shackles that have been broken, if that makes sense. So I'm looking forward to the writing process of that, man.
That's cool. Well, on the collaboration front, if you need a beat, I've got beats, man.
All day, every day, we are going to collaborate, bro, 100%. I know you know your hip hop as well.
Man, I love music. I have a soundtrack for my life. I've just actually been listening to a lot of podcasts recently, and just listening to people speak. I love listening to people talk and kind of say their truths, and just, I love the freedom of a podcast. You can just, exactly like a performing poetry, you can technically say whatever you want, you know?
100. 100, man.
But, yeah, shit. Look at that time, 2 hours almost.
Wow. Flew, bro. Flew. Time flies when you're having fun, as
Indeed.
they say.
But let's call this. Let's wrap it up now. Where can we find you?
So, funny enough, on the socials that we spent the last 2 hours just like battering to death. Like, yeah, fuck the socials. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Instagram, Fury WD, FURYWD, Facebook, Twitter. But I mean, I mainly just use the Instagram, to be honest.
Fair enough.
And yeah, man, if you
Where
can DM me.
We find your music as well?
So my last mixtape was gonna be what is on datpiff.com.
Okay,
old school hip hop mixtape.
Datpiff.com.
Trust me. So it's on there. The link to that is actually on my Instagram. But my new mixtape, obviously it's not out yet, but I'm looking to release it on a few more platforms.
Well, what I'll do is, along with all your information, I'll put the link for your old mixtape on the bottom of this,
I appreciate
in the
that,
description,
man.
so people can find it.
Yeah, man. Definitely have a listen. Kind of old school hip hop vibe. But I said, if you're an old school hip hop fan, but from London, UK, or just even interested in London, UK culture, it's just a different kind of outlook. A lot of times we just feel when it comes to music, it has to be gangster, it has to be drugs, it has to be criminality. But there are stories of people that are living ordinary lives who their struggle is just as real as any drug dealer. Do you know what I'm saying? Their struggle is just as real as anyone who's running on the streets. And not only is it just as real, it's just as interesting, which is the main point in terms of an entertainment point of view. And it's just about telling those stories. People that go to work, people that go to uni, that are in education and they're struggling to get through that. They've left uni and they've got all these debts, and the jobs that they thought they were going to get or promised to ain't there. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Single baby mums, dads battling to see their kids, do you know what I'm saying, because of a bitter baby mum. Do you know what I'm saying? There's all these things that are going on, and I just feel people ain't telling that story because it just seems like, oh no, that's not what hip hop is about, and it's just a boring thing to talk about, just the average person going about their life.
Everyone, like you said, everyone's different, so everyone has a story that they can tell differently.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to be real about who I am as well. I don't want to tell lies. I don't want to just like exaggerate some kind of lifestyle because I think that's what sells, or that's what people want to hear. I think people want to hear realness, and a real story, and sometimes a story that they haven't heard before or they haven't heard in a while,
or even something that they can actually relate to, you know.
100%. and it's funny because as much as we hear all this criminality, that is actually the minority. Like, contrary to, like, you know, the media and what you read, that is actually the minority of people going about their daily lives.
100%.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? The majority of people are not drug dealing. The majority of people are actually just trying to, you know, get a job, you know, pay their bills, like in a as legit way as, because, you know, shout out to people who aren't, you know, like scamming, like, you know, TV licenses. You get me? It's not bloody selling crack, but it's still illegal. Like, let's be real. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So
and your new album, is it gonna be available on like Spotify, or is it?
No, so the mixtape, because it's got 1 or 2 tracks. Like, my first mixtape, like, all of it is just like kind of like rip beats, so it's just like the original kind of like for instance, I've got 50 Cent's What's Up Gangsta, and then like, it's the actual 50 Cent What's Up Gangsta beat, like, do you know what I'm saying? And it's just because it was me just trying to see how kind of my sound worked and whatever before I proper like jumped into it. So like my second mixtape now, the London Underground. It's got about 16, 17 tracks on it, but only 3 of them are like rip beats. The rest are like original.
So
but because of those rip beats, you can't put it on that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just going to be SoundCloud pretty much, and just like mixtape, free mixtape download. But the EP, that's something that I'm looking to launch on Spotify, the iTunes, and you know what I'm saying. So this is kind of like a prelude to that, and trying to hopefully get a buzz, so that once the EP drops, I've got a bit more of a following that you know, people are anticipating it, and they will actually click the download button. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I hear that 100%, man. But other than that, have you got anything else to parting words to leave these people?
Well, shout out to Corey for inviting me to this. We have been trying to do this for a while, but you know, it is schedules and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I feel really privileged to be a part of this. It's been fun.
You're very welcome.
The clock is like literally closing on 2 hours. It hasn't felt that way.
No, it hasn't. I generally thought it was only an hour coming up.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of fun, and 100%. If there's a round 2, bruv, just holler at me.
Come through,
Holler at me.
I'll try and do like another one. I want to do an episode like with loads of different poets and just talk about a subject.
Yeah. That'll be great, man. That'll be great. So other than that, I'm just thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Come through anytime.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks then, guys. Until next time. Bye. Oh, you can say bye?
Oh, sorry, bye, man. Bye. You know when you don't know like how you don't know how if there's like a special ending. Like some people get like a bit like, nah, bro, this is my thing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know. Bye, guys. Bye.